It's Powerback time on the Gutsy Podcast, your 20-minute boost to reclaim and refocus your energy. Get ready to have bursts of clarity, a boost of confidence, and the practical steps you need to make gutsy moves forward. You've got big things to do, so let's get your power back. I just went viral on LinkedIn for what some people might call being unprofessional. LinkedIn, as we know it, is a professional networking site, which usually comes with this feeling that, hey, I need to show up a little bit more polished. I need to show up as if I'm in a corporate meeting or I'm going to a networking event. And I'm not saying don't do those things. What I am saying is in the midst of that, we tend to lose our personalities, our tone, the natural way that we speak, the realness of who we are as actual human beings. We straighten up our tone and water down our message, and we end up sounding like everybody else. I've decided I'm not going to change who I am just because there are people with titles in the room. That led to a post that now has 70,000 plus impressions, 800 profile views, 231 likes, and growing. Turns out what some classify as unprofessional is actually just human connection. Let's first start with the story behind the story. What led to me even posting this wild ass post to begin with? It started with a very simple, innocent lunch. Okay, I work from home. I am very, very intentional about leaving my desk to go upstairs, sit in my kitchen and eat away from the computer, away from my work. The night before we had a pot roast. So yay, leftovers. That makes my life very simple to choose what I'm going to have for lunch. So I get out the pot roast, which is beef and potatoes and carrots and broth. I put it in a bowl. I heat it up. I sit down and I eat. I knew that morning that I was going to be going to the gym in the afternoon. And oftentimes, if I don't have client-facing meetings, if I'm just doing work on my own, I will go ahead and put on my workout clothes in the morning because it tells my brain that we've already decided that we're going to go. It's a little bit of a brain hack that I do with myself. It tells my brain, hey, we are already committing to going to the gym later. So you might as well go ahead and put on those clothes now. So I'm in my workout gear, okay? Which means I'm sitting at the stool wearing a sports bra and my leggings. At one point when I was eating, I thought I felt something like hit my chest area. But I looked down, I didn't see anything. I didn't really think anything more of it. Okay. I go back to work, I finish my afternoon, and it's time to go to the gym. I get to the gym, I'm on the treadmill and I'm walking and I'm starting to get warmed up and I can feel myself starting to sweat. And all of a sudden it's like, I'm itchy. Like, why is my sports bra particularly itchy today? I don't normally have that problem, but maybe there's a tag that's, being wonky. Maybe it's not sitting right. Is something coming out of it? You know what I mean? Like I'm itchy. So I'm moving it and adjusting it, in an appropriate way in public. And it just stays. And I'm like, well, I'm already in it. I'm already sweaty. I'm not going to go figure out what's going on. I'm just going to continue with my workout. I move over to the weights and I'm doing arms. And again, as my arms are like up in the air and I'm pulling down the weights, I'm like, why is this so freaking itchy? It's enough that it has my attention, but not enough that I have to stop everything that I'm doing to go figure this out. So I finish up my workout. I get my towel. I close out the locker. I walk out. I get in my car and I'm like, I need to figure out what the hell is going on. Like what is happening in my bra right now? I sit down in my car, I shut the door, and I break the seal underneath. You know what I'm talking about. When you have been sweaty, when you've been working out, when you've been moving a lot, hell, sometimes when you're just sitting there, I mean, we just sweat. That's a thing too. You have to like break the seal to get to the underneath. Okay. So I break the seal and what do I see? What falls out of my bra is a piece of beef. Beef. Yeah, you heard me. B-E-E-F. A piece of beef. And I laughed so fucking hard. I was like, I know what hit my chest when I was eating. It was the beef from my pot roast that I was eating at lunch. Except this piece of beef has now been hanging out with me for hours, which means it has dried out. And it's scratchy because it is dried out. So I'm just sitting in my car and I'm pulling these little shards, these little like strings of beef out of my fucking sports bra. And I'm cracking up laughing and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is such a human moment. I know I'm not the only person that has experienced something stupid like this. So I put a post up on Threads. In my mind, I thought, you know what, this has potential to do some stuff on Threads because it's very raw, it's very relatable, it's funny as hell, but it didn't really do anything. And I was like, oh, that's kind of surprising. Maybe it was the time of day. Maybe I didn't, who knows, right? Algorithms. I didn't really think anything more about it, except the next day then came. And at this point, this was New Year's Eve. I get up New Year's Eve. I get my coffee. I do my breakfast thing. And I'm sitting and I'm scrolling through my phone. I'm on LinkedIn. And I get this intuitive nudge that says, wouldn't it be funny if you posted the beef brawl story on LinkedIn? And my first thought was, no, that's not right for LinkedIn, right? Like that's not professional. That's not what people want to read over there. And then there's this, my gutsy got activated and I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to copy the Threads post and I'm going to paste it onto LinkedIn. And I did that. And I looked at it for a second and I was like, do I really want to do this? Yeah, I really want to do this because it's funny and it's relatable. And why not? Why filter my tone? Why filter my humor? Why water down my personality and these real stories just because I'm in a room with people with titles? Guess what? I have a title too. And behind all of those titles are people. I am a person. You are a person. Every corporate owner, CEO, high level, whatever on LinkedIn is also a person. So I decided I'm going to do it. Okay. Here's the post. Let me read this to you. There's no photo, by the way. No photo, just text. It reads, my sports bra felt itchy at the gym. When I got to the car, I broke the underseal to see what was going on. What fell out, you ask? Beef. Little pieces of dried beef. I must have dropped some meat from my lunch down my bra and it just hung out with me all day. Anyway, Happy New Year. Let's do some gutsy goodness in 2026. That's it. That's the post. So I smiled. I hit post and I closed my phone for the day. And to be 1,000% honest, I didn't think anything of it. I hit post, closed it, and I went about my day. We did the New Year's Eve thing. It didn't even cross my mind. And then I opened my phone on New Year's Day. I have notifications for social media apps turned off on my phone. So I do not get notified when I get messages. I don't get notified when I get comments. I just find it's too much. It's too distracting. And I want to consciously choose when I am in the right space to go in and read those things. So I had no idea that anything was happening. Okay. I open up LinkedIn and, there's red dots at the bottom that tell you if you have new follower requests, if you have notifications, if there's comments, there's little red dots with little numbers on it. And usually, there's, I don't know, 2 or 3 people in my request. Maybe there's 8 to 10 comments or reactions or notifications. When I opened up my app on New Year's Day, the numbers made me literally out loud go, whoa, what the fuck? There were like 30 or 40 new connection requests. There were a couple of 100 notifications. And I was like, whoa, what is happening? And then in that moment, I thought, oh my God, it's the fucking beef post. And when even saying that out loud, I'm like, this is the most ridiculous, dumbass thing that I've ever experienced in my life, but it is so funny. And what an incredible, unintentional social experiment. Half of me was excited and giddy, and the other half of me was kind of honestly holding my breath because I'm like, okay, either the people are going to be here in support of this, or I'm going to have a comment section full of haters. When you're on social media, it's hard to tell which way it's going to go, but you can't not show up in fear of what these internet trolls, keyboard warriors may or may not say, because for the handful of them that there are so many more people that you are intended to impact. So I'm bracing. Okay. I'm like, okay, we might have a mixed bag here. We might have a lot of people commenting for good. We might have a lot of people telling me that this is awful. I'll tell you what, I was so pleasantly surprised. I got comments like, well, this is an instant follow for me. This is the most relatable thing I've ever read on LinkedIn. I feel like every woman should be able to relate to this with the laughing emoji. There were some funny people in there saying things like, hey, you don't want to wait too long after your gym session to hit your protein goals. Another person, Andrew, wrote, finally, we can answer the ancient question, where's the beef? I mean, the comment section is just flooded with laughing emojis and raising hand emojis, and this is so relatable, and oh my gosh, this happened to me too. And were there some trolls? Were there some people that were like, hey, what are you doing? I wish I never read this before. And I just respond with a little snarky love. Like, I'm not going to read into what you think about this or how you relate to it, especially when the whole comment section is flooded with people laughing and having a good time. A lady named Maureen said, another instant follow here, not just from the post, but from your responses to the uptight comments are the second reason that I'm following you. And what's wild is the numbers just kept increasing all day long. Like that first look, it had 5,000 impressions, which for me, for LinkedIn, is a lot, like more than most, if not all of my posts. But then it was 10,000, then it was 16,000, and then it was 25,000. And over the next couple of days, it just kept growing. For the most part, it has finally kind of leveled out. And I have to tell you numbers that I find just absolutely shocking. This single post has 231 likes, 145 comments, which yes, that does include my responses. It has 70,000 impressions. 800 people saw that post and went and looked at my profile, which means they wanted to learn more about me. I gained 121 followers. I think I gained upward of like 60, 70 plus connections. And what's wild is the people that this reached, 32% of them are at a senior level in their company. And 19% of these people work at companies with 10,000 or more employees. Some of the people that I'm connected with now work at Fortune 500 companies. Okay. This was the craziest unintentional social experiment that I've had to date. And I say that because it proved to me that beyond the titles, beyond the buttoned up platform, are people. People having real life experiences, people with humor and with stories and going through things. Do you think that the people on LinkedIn are different than the people that are scrolling on TikTok or Instagram stories or through Facebook? No. At the end of the day, people are people. They just adjust themselves to whatever platform they're showing up on. During the day, they might be scrolling through LinkedIn with their blazer on, but you know what? By night, they're also scrolling through TikTok and Reels, laughing at dumbass shit like the rest of us. I mean, I'm doing that. I am a professional. I am a keynote speaker. I am a coach. I host this gutsy podcast. I'm a professional woman. I know what I'm doing, but that doesn't mean that I'm a robot. And when I'm not working, and okay, maybe sometimes when I am working, I'm scrolling on those other sites too. You see what I'm saying here? Like, there's a time and a place for professionalism. I'm not discounting that by any means. I'm also not suggesting that you get on LinkedIn and air out your dirty laundry. What I am suggesting, though, is looking at how are you showing up, not just on LinkedIn, but in the workplace, in your family, in your friend circle. Like, are you filtering yourself to be more palatable? Are you watering down your message because you're afraid it's going to be too much? Are you adjusting yourself to fit in? Look, you don't have to get on LinkedIn and talk about your bra, okay? That's my weird sense of humor. That's my way of connecting with people and sharing real, relatable situations. That's something that I got in so many of those comments was like, this is so relatable. This is so real. Oh my God, I love this. Oh my God, instant follow. I'm only comfortable saying stuff like this because it's naturally who I am. It's not a front. It's not a tone. It's not a brand. And yes, while it is part of my brand is me. And in my view, it's just good business to show everybody who I am, because I don't want you to hire me. I don't want you to bring me into your world. I don't want you to bring me into your workplace expecting something other than who I am. Who knows? I mean, I could book my next speaking gig off of one of the connections from that post. Or maybe my next client is kind of hovering and learning more about me because she found me through this post. And maybe nothing more comes of it. Maybe that post had its moment, it had its spark, it created a story, and that's the end of it. Whatever comes of it or doesn't, the thing that I am most proud of is that I showed up as myself. I trusted that first instinct that I had to put it on there in the first place. I consciously stopped and chose to not water down the message or filter it or adjust it to be quote unquote more professional. And I released myself from the expectations. I mean, that combo right there, that trio will always set you up for success. And I can guarantee you that you're always going to learn something from it. In this case, I learned that, you know what? I don't need to be quote unquote professional on LinkedIn. I am a professional woman and I'm choosing to show up and speak as myself. That, my friend, is professional. And the other big lesson here to remember is people want to be with people. They want real stories. They want vulnerability. They want to know that they're not the only ones. And sometimes it's the stories or the thought or the feeling that feels cringy or maybe a little bit sticky or a little like, oh, I don't know, should I put it? Sometimes, dare I say more often than not, that is the stuff that moves. Not just for numbers. Okay, yeah, it's awesome that this got 70,000 impressions. But even beyond that, it moved somebody. I will never know the impact that that post had. But I can guarantee you, based off of the comments and the overall reaction, that it bettered somebody's day. That it gave somebody else permission to be more of themselves. That it built community and connection. That it made people feel something real. Is the story ridiculous? Yes. It's often the most simplistic things that create the biggest impact. Lastly, this was easy. What is hard is being somebody else, is putting on a front, is always adjusting yourself and your personality and your tone and your words and the way that you show up and the way that you dress and conforming and being everything to everyone else. That's the shit that's hard. Putting this post out there was the easiest thing that I've done all year long. And it's because it was not edited. It was not watered down. It was not adjusted. It was not polished. It was just me being me. So as you continue about your day, whether it's posting on LinkedIn, showing up on a reel, having a conversation in your office or with a new client, or hanging out with your friends and family, I encourage you and challenge you to stop and ask yourself, am I showing up as myself or am I adjusting myself to fit in? Be incredibly honest with yourself and choose your next steps wisely. It only seems appropriate to say, if you're on LinkedIn, we should probably be connected because, I'm saying all kinds of stuff now, apparently, in all places. So you can come find me. I am at that Laura Ora on all the platforms, including LinkedIn. I'll put those in the show notes below. And as always, until I see you next time, stay gutsy.